Okay, so 1 week ago, as of today, excuse my appearance, I am tired, and you will find out why in a minute. 1 week ago today, I got home from work, and my husband said, I was talking to him about my day, and he said, should a mama squirrel go back for her babies, if her nest was destroyed by a tree being cut down? And I was like, she should. And he was like, well, we were cutting down trees at work today, and we saw the mama go, she bolted, and because the tree was going, so the tree, is downed, and all of a sudden he hears the squealing of the babies, and he looks around and he sees the 3 baby squirrels. And they're naked as jaybirds, they're peakies. And so he says that he has one of his workers, gather them up with his gloved hand and put them close to where the tree was cut down, so that, if the mama were to come back for them, she could. They'd be right there. So he said, that's what happened. Do you know if she'll come back for them? I was like, well, she should, as long as, they're there. And so he was like, do you want me to take you to them so we can check on them? I was like, yeah. And we went to where they were, and they were still there. They, all 3 of them were still alive, and I picked them up and they started squealing. And so mama, it had been hours upon hours, at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 5 hours, since they were there. They left around 1. We got there around 6:15ish. So she wasn't going to come back for him. So I have the 3 baby squirrels in my possession. I'm giving them puppy milk replacement. It's the powdered Espalac, and I'm reconstituting it with water. I'm probably going to get a couple bottles of water from my mom while I'm here picking up my son, because my little girl it could be the adjustment to the new formula, because I had to get pet egg or something like that right away, the pet egg puppy formula, and it was already pre-mixed and everything like that, but that was all that they had at the store, and I had to get something in because I don't have goat milk, and I don't have I didn't have anything, so I wasn't going to give them cow milk, because you can't give baby squirrels cow milk. So I was in a pinch, so I got that. So I rehydrated them, I gave them the formula, I had them go potty, and so they're all doing great, and they're about a week old, and they have fuzz all over them, and they're still pink, very pink on the bottom, but they're more gray and brownish on the top. So I've been feeding them every 2 to 3 hours, that I can, but I'm at work, so sometimes they go a little bit longer, not much longer, but a little bit longer, and then once at night. My little girl, within the past day, I've noticed that after she eats, she gets very sluggish and very slow, whereas when her brothers get done eating, they're a little drowsy, and they go right to sleep, when I put them back in their little warmer. But she gets very cold, and I try so hard. I've put their milk in like a bath of hot water. I sit the little dish in that dish of hot water to keep it warm for them. But she gets very cold so fast. But she's also 1 week old. So it was very concerning, because they had diarrhea from me transitioning them to the new formula from the Espalac. But it was really concerning, because even though her brothers, whenever they would get done eating, they'd still be really squirmy, like but I put them back in their little container thingy that I have them in on the heating pad, half on, half off. And they'll wiggle around for a little bit until they're comfortable. They find their little position that they like and they go right to sleep. But if I hold them, they're still squirming around. She balls up and she's ready to go to sleep. And I have shed many tears because I am so worried about her. Their poop does not smell. It's starting to have a shape again, a very soft shape, but still a shape. And I have cried so much because I don't want to lose her. And I've tried not skipping meals, but like, instead of giving her formula, the boys get the formula. I have 2 boys and 1 girl. So I give the boys their formula, and then I give her, instead of milk or formula, I give her the hydration solution that I've made. And I can't remember the exact measurements that I used. I used a quart of water, and I think I used 2 tablespoons of sugar and maybe a teaspoon or less, I can't remember, of salt. So I did that. So she is very well hydrated. Her urine output's good. Her poop does not stink. She doesn't have any clicking. I thought she had clicking, and I got very scared, and I cried, of course. But that was her suckling on the nipple. It was so as soon as she got done eating, I kind of held her up to my ear to listen. And I heard it still, but she was still smacking her lips from when she had the milk in her mouth. So I waited a second, and then I listened again, and there's no clicking. So she doesn't have aspiration pneumonia. Her poop doesn't stink. So I don't know what it is. I really don't. And it is baffling me. And I'm like, what? And I've tried calling a couple vets, but they're like, the only thing we can really do for the squirrels is just give them some hydration underneath the skin. And I'm like, well, I'm giving her hydration already, so I don't know what else to do. And then I've gone to several squirrel forums, but it's just like parenting. It's one method, it may be right for some, but not right for others. I've read that the Fox Valley formula is top notch, but I've also seen that there are some irreversible effects that it can cause your baby squirrel. So, and then I read that Espalac is the best, but also I've read that you need to mix it with just water only. I've also read that you can mix it with heavy cream, but there are so many things out there. So I'm trying to take each one with a grain of salt and do the very best that I can. But it is so challenging, and I am tired because since they were so little, they were eating every 2 to 3 hours. I think now that they're a week old, they can go up in formula. So I'll slowly move the boys up or everybody up from 1 cc to maybe 1.5 for a little bit, and see how that goes, because I don't want to overwhelm their tummies and make them bloated. But they're a little bit older. They're a week old now, so and then little girl, she used to eat all of her full cc. Now she's eating about a little more than 3/4 of her cc, but after that she doesn't want any more. She's full, so she's eating, she's urinating, she's pooping, it doesn't stink, it's starting to have a form again, so I'm just exhausted, but I'm doing the very best that I can. And if any of you have any advice on how to do this better, or how to not be so stressed out, because they were pinkies when I got them, like pinkies. They barely had the little slit in their eyes. Now their whole eye is like a purpley, like they got a black eye and it's all puffy looking, but there's a full slit coming across now. So they're growing. I know that. It's just maybe it's like with a baby. They say, oh, well, you have to feed, your baby should be eating this much, every so often, and then if they don't, then blah, 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 blah. She's eating. And I got a gram scale coming, so as long as she's eating and gaining weight, then I'm okay. But if she's eating and not gaining weight or eating and losing weight, then that's when I'm going to get really concerned, and I'm going to have to start calling around to wildlife rehabbers, because I don't know what else I can do. But if you have any advice on raising 3 baby squirrels that are 1 week old, please sound off, because help a girl out. I'm gonna go, but if you need a part 2, let me know. But I'm here and I gotta get my son. But y'all have a good night, and let me know some stuff in the comments.